Hello, I'm Claire Smith and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before, which is a single fragrance review. And I've been moved to do this because I've tried the new fragrance by Soki London, Empress. And I was very kindly sent a sample of this fragrance by Lizzie at Rose & Jones. So I'm going to link Lizzie's channel down below and also Lizzie's review of this fragrance, because it's always good to watch a different review and to get somebody else's opinion on a fragrance as well, isn't it? And yeah, full disclosure, obviously I have watched Lizzie's review, so please bear that in mind when you're watching my review. So this fragrance, I was just so intrigued because I've been watching Soki on and off for several years. I think I started watching Soki back in 2019, and now she has over 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and she's launched this first fragrance. And I just thought that was really exciting, and I really liked the idea that it had been funded by a Kickstarter campaign. I thought that was really cool, and you know, it means that people who watch her channel have had a big input into this fragrance. So this fragrance is actually certified as vegan and cruelty free as well. And the note profile of this fragrance seems to vary depending upon where I look. So I'm going to go from the official notes listed on the Soki London website, because you would think those would be the official notes, wouldn't you? So the top notes are listed as wild strawberry, the middle notes are listed as peony and rose, and the base notes are listed as patchouli, popcorn and toffee. So having watched a bit of Sophie on YouTube, I know that some of her favourite fragrances are Miss Dior Cherie by Dior and also Jimmy Choo by Jimmy Choo. And Miss Dior Cherie actually shares quite a few notes in common with this fragrance. So that fragrance also has popcorn, it also has strawberry, and it also has rose and patchouli. And Jimmy Choo by Jimmy Choo also shares patchouli and toffee. So you can see that there's quite a lot of overlap there potentially between these three fragrances. So how did this fragrance actually smell for me? Well, it opens very, very strongly with a very intense butteriness. It's something that really makes me think of when I'm making flapjacks and I've just melted the butter and I'm pouring it into the oat mixture and giving it a good stir. It really does give me that feeling of a melted margarine or a melted butter. And I assume that that beginning part of the fragrance is probably what is meant to be popcorn accord. I'd say for me it doesn't really hit the spot with popcorn, but I think maybe that's my cultural experience of popcorn. I think for me popcorn is more of like a toffee smell, or it's something that's a salty smell. And it's also got that actual smell of the popcorn itself, because when I make popcorn, that really is the strongest smell, because generally I don't add any flavourings to it. Generally I have it just plain. And that for me is quite a distinctive smell, which I don't really get in this fragrance. For me, this fragrance really comes off as just pure melted butter kind of smell in the beginning. There is also a sort of slight mintiness in the beginning for me, and I can't really explain that from the notes. I don't know whether it's maybe the slight fruitiness and maybe a bit of greenness coming from somewhere, with perhaps something from the patchouli perhaps in the fragrance. But there's definitely a little bit of a slight mintiness that I get repeatedly with different wears of this fragrance. And I can't really work out exactly what that is at all. I found that quite unexpected and kind of interesting in a way. But yeah, I wouldn't say that it was something that I loved about this fragrance really. So as this dries further, you then get a little bit of a fruitiness, and I assume that's a strawberry, but it's something again that it doesn't make me think of a fresh natural strawberry. It makes me think more of a strawberry yogurt or something strawberry flavoured, but not something like a strawberry lip balm or like strawberry laces, not that kind of really sweet fruitiness. I think as this dries further, you then get a little bit of rose, but it's definitely very, very light on rose, and it's not a bright rose, a dull, light, woody rose. You then get some patchouli, but the patchouli here is something that comes off to me as black tea. So the black tea and patchouli at the end really do have an almost sort of saccharine sweetness to them, but there's something that I wouldn't necessarily think of as toffee in the end of the fragrance. It's just a generic kind of sweetness, but it's really not too much. It's not an overly sweet fragrance really in the main. From the beginning of the fragrance to the end, there is quite a drop off in projection. So the beginning with that buttery opening is really pretty strong. I think if you're someone who doesn't like fatty smells, then you could really struggle with the opening. As it dries down from there on, probably from about 20 minutes in from when that fatty buttery smell fades, then it does become very much more a skin scent. Really the later half of the fragrance, you're not really going to smell other than if you press your nose very close to your skin. It is very much a skin scent from about 20, 25, 30 minutes in. It does last on my skin for maybe 4 to 5 hours, but after that it's really entirely gone. It is quite long lasting really, you know, 4 or 5 hours. It's not a short lasting fragrance, but I was expecting a little bit more projection from this fragrance than perhaps I did get. So now onto the hard bit. What do I think of this fragrance and would I buy it? Well, I think if I'd paid £69 for 50ml of this fragrance, I would be incredibly disappointed. And, you know, I don't want to upset Soki by saying nasty things about her fragrance, but I just simply don't enjoy this perfume. I think it's just a personal experience of that sort of buttery opening. It's just something that I find quite off-putting. It actually made me nauseous, actually, spraying this fragrance. The beginning 20-30 minutes were a huge struggle for me. And really, because it turns then into a skin scent after that stage, it's something that really doesn't give me anything to latch onto to make me enjoy the later stages of it. It just, the whole thing for me was just not really something that I wanted to smell like. It's something that really was quite disappointing in a way, because the notes seemed to promise so much but really delivered very little for me. I didn't really get any kind of strong impression of popcorn. It didn't make me think of toffee. It also didn't make me think of anything that was floral or anything that was really truly fruity. It was something that smelt quite saccharine, quite artificial, and something that really wasn't that enjoyable for me because of that really buttery opening that just made me feel nauseous. And yeah, I'm sorry to say that, because I am someone who's been watching Soki on and off for a couple of years, and I wish her every success with this fragrance. I think my advice, if you are interested in trying this fragrance, is to just go and buy a sample from the website, because buying a sample from the website is going to cost you £5 plus postage and packaging, whereas if you buy the bottle, it's going to cost £69. And really, you know, if it ends up that you don't actually enjoy this fragrance, then you've saved yourself 60 odd pounds. And if you do enjoy it, then you can just pay the extra money, because I think Soki's actually offering the cost of the sample against the purchase price of the fragrance. So really that's the slightly more risk-free way of trying this fragrance. I think just because of how different this smelt to how the notes suggested this might smell to me, I think I would strongly advise sampling. So I wish Soki every success with this fragrance, but it's just not for me. It's just a personal preference kind of thing. So that's Empress by Soki London. So if you like the video, then please press the like button, and please also consider subscribing if you haven't done already. And please let me know if you have tried Empress by Soki London. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Do you like that buttery opening? Does it remind you of popcorn? Am I missing something here? So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.